Hello everyone and welcome back to another league racing video here on my channel. This week we are here for Worldwide Racing League, or Wwrl, here at Zandvoort. This is my first league race in this league. If you haven't checked out my last league race video, please go check it out. That was the SFR League China. So this race here we have Zandvoort this weekend. A track which, to be fair, overly I'm not actually that confident that. It's not my... I love the track. It's not a track I dislike. I do like the track a lot. But yeah, it was interesting. This race was very interesting, and so was the quali. So it was one of these weekends where I should have practiced a bit more than I did, which I didn't. So I kind of regretted that. As you can see, I am in the Alfa Romeo car, which is quite interesting. As I'm currently in the Haas car for the other league in SFR. And in this league, I'm in the Alfa Romeo. There are a few other leagues that I'm attempting to join, but these are the only two leagues that I'm actually in at the moment. I'm just trying to sort out some other leagues at the moment and see what's going on. But we come here for my first lap. My first lap, to be fair, wasn't actually that brilliant. It was one of the laps where I could have pushed the car a lot more than I did when I didn't. And, you know, going into turn one, you can see here, I was being very cautious. I wanted to get a banker lap and see how quick everyone was around compared to me. So yeah, you know, decent exit out of the hairpin, but again, just a bit too cautious. Coming through this nice flowing section here towards the end of sector 1. That all was quite nice and clean through there. Again, just a nice clean lap, to be fair, this lap. Yeah, currently the pole time is a 1:09 flat, which, you know, it's not a bad time. In time trials, I was setting about a 1:08.9, and they were sort of my time trial time, so not perfect laps, but times I felt which was enough to get me decent times. You can see pole times now are 1:85, so that's a very good lap from whoever's done that. I'm actually getting held up here by the Haas car, which I wasn't very happy about. I mean, he's obviously on a flying lap, but he's clearly quite slow. But actually helped me a little bit. I dived down the inside. The inside route here is a bit quicker because you get the DRS a little bit earlier. And I set a 1.9.5, so really not a great lap from me there. Again, the lap just should have been a little bit tidier than it was. It just was one of those laps again where I just need to put the power down a little bit early, so a little bit earlier, which I didn't in the end, but. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, we're currently in P9, and P9 with a 1:09.5. Yellow flag's going off. I think someone's either going very slowly or they got damaged, I don't know. But this league is actually quite competitive. The other league I'm in, both leagues I'm in are very, very competitive leagues. With all the drivers generally being quite fast around the tracks. So yeah, I'm really enjoying league racing at the moment. It's just a different form of F1 in comparison to what I've done before. So yeah, I'm just really enjoying it, to be fair. And just overall, just honing my skills as a racer. And I feel like league racing, you have to be very patient. What I found the last two league races, where the last two league races I had have been very manic, in the fact that my qualifying isn't very good. I need to improve qualifying. It's something I need to personally work on. My race pace just generally is quite consistent. You know, in the first race, if you haven't watched the last video, go check it out. But I was in P1 for quite a lot of the race. I did a 1-stop. This race, I did a 2-stop. But you guys will see that later on in the video. But yeah, it was just absolutely... Well, it was just an absolute manic race, to be honest, guys. So you better hear my mic in the background a little bit of this video. I did have my microphone on. Just so if we had to report any incidents, I could talk whilst driving. That was the main reason. Also, my race engineer Josh, who I'm sure you guys all know Josh.
Fastest lap is a 1:09.5.
I'm sure you guys all know him from co-op seasons. You know, we raced quite a lot, and he was meant to be my race engineer this weekend. So I was in a PlayStation party with him, but he was late out of work, so actually never ended up being my race engineer for this weekend. But you know, this race was very. Well, the weekend in general was quite weird, to be fair. I actually thought it was going to rain in qualifying. You know, sitting here in the pits, I actually genuinely thought it was going to rain in quali. but it didn't in the end. Again, I'm not really too sure why I didn't, because it was very overcast. It was actually forecasted too, towards the end of the session. But here I'm just waiting because it's an 18-minute qualifying session, so I didn't want to just do all my laps in one go. So I thought I'd wait for a little bit. Again, just see what other times everybody else did. And in regards to my sector times, you know, they weren't bad in comparison to everybody else, but I was about 3/10 a laps. I'm about 3/10 down in each sector to the pole position time. So it's consistent, but I just need again to just be a bit more aggressive on the throttle, carry more speed into the corners. But around this circuit, it's so easy to lock up. It's so easy to lock up. It's just something you just really do have to be careful for. But yeah, you can see my teammate up here ahead of me. Nutella Ian, I'm guessing his name is. That's what it looks like his name is anyway. We're actually going to get a little bit of a drag, or a little bit of a tow from the Renault in front. So this is actually my last qualifying chance I had. I did do one run already on these tyres, and I messed it up in like the first couple of turns in. So I preserved the tyres for this last lap. A little bit of a lock up there on the front lap. As you can see, just nice and aggressive on the throttle. I needed to be aggressive here. I needed to gain as much time as I possibly could. I'm currently 2/10 up on my personal best. Down to gear 7 early on the power. Try not to spin the car. I don't touch any of these curves. This track is not very forgiving at all. You put one wheel on the curb and you will send your car completely spinning. Down to gear 3. And didn't actually short shift here. Normally I do short shift on that corner, but I didn't actually short shift in the end. Down to gear 3. Keep it in gear 3. Good exit out of that corner. We're about 4/10 up on our time now. Going to brake nice and into this corner. Ride the curb here a little bit. Could have ridden the curb a little bit more. I actually lost quite a bit of time there, to be fair. I could have gained a lot more time. Oh, power slide out of that corner as well. We do set purple first sector, or purple middle sector. We are the fastest person in the middle sector on track. As we come through, we're going to duck down to inside, get the DRS nice and early. We're currently 5/10 up on our previous time. We go ahead and set a 108.9, which puts us just inside the top 10, and I get knocked down immediately. So, in the end, I did qualify P12, so an overall good lap for me. 5/10 off pole. But it was the kind of lap times I was setting in qualifying, so I wasn't too disappointed by that at all. Not in qualifying, in time trial. So when I was practicing, that's what I wanted to know. I was sat here looking at the strategy thinking, I want to do a 2-stop. But for some reason, the game wouldn't let me add an extra pair of soft tyres. And obviously I wasn't ever going to go medium because you can't do that. So I should have added a stint, to be fair. I kind of wasn't really thinking. I wasn't very prepared strategy-wise. That's something that I need to improve, just being more prepared in regards to the strategy. You know, knowing exactly what I want to do, what laps I want to pit before the race starts, so I can just add it in. But it's something I will learn the more league racing I get into, and the more races I end up competing. So I do skip the formation lap, because I was a formation lap you were seeing. Everyone's ghosted here at the start. I didn't know what was going on. But we have 5 red lights, and away we go. Everyone's now not ghosted again. I get quite a lot of wheel spin offside. Again, just I need to start focusing on my starts a little bit more. And we go into turn 1. We get the 14 that goes past us. 14 actually cuts across us massively. We have contact. I don't actually have any damage, but I actually don't know what happened there at all, if I'm honest. So we're currently in a virtual safety car straight away. So yeah, everything's going well, and then this happens.
Are you joking me?
As you can hear, I wasn't very happy. The mic quality on that was terrible because that was my headset mic. But yeah, I end up with a 10-second time penalty, and then this happens. My teammate decides it'd be a great idea to take me out. I don't know whether he missed his braking zone, but I ended up with no front wing. So I had to pit on that lap, replace my front wing, but I have time penalties to serve. For, you know, nothing I did wrong. I got a time penalty at the start for contact with a guy who I'd never even had contact with. And then a time penalty for me getting brake tested. So I wasn't in a very good mood at this point. As you can see now, I am in last. I am literally in last place. There's one person DNF'd. I'm in 19th out of 19. So this race, after a pretty decent qualifying, and you know, I'll admit, it wasn't the best start in the world, but it wasn't a very good start. As we go now onto lap 4, and I go down the inside here. Oh, Matty FIFA in the Alpha Tower. We're getting a move nicely done there. We have Critical ahead of us. VX Critical. We're going to try and maybe shape up a move on him. These guys do seem quite slow. They're on the hard tyre and the mediums. I decided to pit on going to the softs. I wanted to go softs and hards to the end. After having to come in for my pit. So I do still have a 5-second time penalty serve, which I will serve in my next stop. So yeah, I wanted to get past guys, and Critical absolutely bashes it. He tags the... I don't know what he did there. I believe he tagged the grass or something. He put a wheel wrong and he's on the curb. I get lightning here, just absolutely forcing me off the track. I thought that was a complete unfair move from him. You know, I was on the inside, I was catching him, and he literally squeezed me out. It's something I probably will bring up with the race officials. And I feel like that probably could have been a time penalty for him, because... I mean, luckily I saved it. I lifted out of it, but you know, I felt like that was quite dirty racing from him. I was clearly, you know, fastening him in a straight line, and there was space for us both to go around the outside, and he just decided to just squeeze me out onto the grass completely. So yeah, I wasn't very happy with that. You see, Matty FIFA trying to get right alongside us, and we put our ERS mode on. Lightning hits the grass there, so we get a good run on him coming up. We have a little bit more speed than he does currently. Down to 6th gear, we're right up behind you now. I've been very cautious here because I saw what he tried doing to me last time when I tried overtaking him, and I was like, I don't want to get alongside him unless I know I'm going to overtake. I feel like he could be one of those drivers that's very aggressive whilst defending, may not do it intentionally, but I still wanted to be very cautious making his moves. We enable our DRS and our ERS. I can see him just trying to shape the move past him. I go for the dive bomb and I get him, and bit of a power slide, but we managed to hold the move. And we're up into P16 already, so a few good moves there. Again, I wasn't very happy on his defensive manoeuvring, but we let it slide. We carry on. As you can see, the guy who I got the time penalty for hitting, Basabai, I don't know what his name is, but he's 20 seconds ahead of us. And we got another virtual safety car. That's the second virtual safety car of the race. This race was littered with safety cars. Absolutely littered with them. I just loads of people just messing up, to be fair. I don't really know why. Again, this track's not very forgiving, as I've said before. You put a wheel on the grass and you will just completely spin out. So yeah, as you can see, we have now actually got a virtual safety car, and actually we now have a full course safety car. So I decided it'd be a great time to come into the pits. I was meant to pit on lap 12. I decided to pit on this lap because there is a safety car out. As you can see, I'm serving my 5-second time penalty. The Alfa Romeo crew, and I had 7.7 stops, so 2.7 seconds to do it after they had served my penalty. It's not a bad stop actually in the end. So now I think the strategy here was literally just to go to the end on these tyres in the exact same situation actually compared to the last race, where I pitted, went to the hards and went to the end. But the difference is this was forced upon me. You know, last race it was my actual strategy to go softs then hards, but you know, I'm now going to have to do 25 laps on these tyres, which is actually more than what I did in the first race. I did 22 laps on my tyres, and this track's more demanding on tyre wear than China is. So I knew I was in for a long stint, but I felt like being literally last now in the safety car. There's another person retired from the race. She's actually spun it into the barrier. There's only 15 cars left. So we are completely lost in this race. Just down to just unfortunate events and virtual safety cars and teammates hitting us off the track. Our teammate had connection issues. He kept rejoining and joining. I wonder if that had anything to play with the fact that he kept going into the back of me. We skipped to lap 17. I'm in P14 out of 15. I got past my teammate. Right behind Matty FIFA again. He tries squeezing us out. Hopefully be a little bit fairer than the Mercedes. I'll go for the exact same move round the outside. And another virtual safety car. It was constant, this race. This is now virtual safety car number 4. And I was very frustrated with that because I actually was ahead of Matty FIFA going into the virtual. As you can see, my little reaction there, like Mario. and that's what caused it. Someone just absolutely got themselves taken out. VSC's ending, so I absolutely go for it because my delta is so positive, and I get a good run on Matty FIFA here into turn 1. I go for a little bit of a late lunge, early on the power, squeeze him out as much as possible, and there we go, squeeze him out. We're up into P11. So only 14 people actually left in the race, considering 20 started, but, you know, we're doing well. We've made up a few places, we're doing quite well overall. We're pretty much slap bang halfway through this Grand Prix. We're on lap 18. We're going to skip to the end of lap 18. We're going to come up to 10th now in the Renault. Maybe try and go around the outside here at turn 1. Oh, we carry the speed. We go around the outside of him in turn 1. What a move. Can we keep alongside? He's keeping alongside us, and we make the move done. We're now in the points.
Brilliant. Nice.
So from starting last, we're now, well, not starting last, but from basically being last 2 times in this race. It was twice I've been last in this race. And I'm already up into the points. Now onto lap 25 now, and I'm in P8. A few people basically came into the pit. There's still the same number of people running, but as you can see, I'm going to the end on these tyres, so a few people started pitting him. Matty FIFA, I was battling him for pretty much the whole race, and he goes into the barrier. I didn't know whether that was my fault on him. I didn't feel any contact. My driver did put his hand up, but I felt like I had the racing line. I was on the racing line, and he went down the inside on me, so I didn't feel like that was my fault at all. As we make on to lap 30 and we get past Bren Boy in the Haas. So now this is the position that I'm in. But if you look ahead, I've served my time penalties, and the Ferrari and the Haas ahead of me has got a 10-second time penalties, and I'm only 6 seconds behind. The Ferrari ahead of me has a 5-second time penalty, and I'm 4 seconds behind. So with 5 laps to go, if I can keep those gaps the same, I could be on for a possible P4 finish in this race. Considering I was basically last for the whole race, you know, it's a very good result so far. We skipped to lap 35. Our tyres are just absolutely shot to bits. But I didn't have a lot of fuel left, so I was having to put the car into lean mix to try and preserve some of the fuel, whilst also keeping under 5 seconds to Tim in front in the Ferrari. Tim 88 in front, he's only 4.7 seconds ahead, so another 0.3 of a second, and I wouldn't claim that extra spot. So I had to get the balance right here. Although I wasn't literally racing him, you know, I technically am racing him, because if I could stay within 5 seconds, I could finish P4. So I was getting the balance just right on fuel management and having enough speed anyway to, having enough speed to end up, you know, coming ahead of these guys towards the end of the race. So it was just I had to be very cautious with what I did. As you see, Tim's actually catching the Haas in front of us, and Bren Boy sets the fastest lap of the race. He went onto the soft tyres. He was on really old mediums, and he had to pit again, so he went onto the softs and set the fastest lap of the race. I was nowhere near fast lap of the race. I'll go on the curb. I said to myself, like, don't do anything silly. You know, I'm 4.5 seconds down, so at the moment I'm going to claim P4, so I'll just like keep it playing, get off these curbs, because Zan4, if you get on the curbs, your car will spin, and that will send your point chances out the window. So coming through to the last part of the lap here, I chuck it into lean mix to give me a little bit more fuel for the end of the race, and Tim in front of us here has actually made a mistake, and we actually get right behind him, and the Haas car ahead, I don't know whether there's a bit of contact or something, but they're only 2 seconds ahead. So I'm definitely going to claim P4 here in the Wwrl league in my first race here at Zandvoort. And we claim P4. I think that's an astonishing result. Considering where I was actually only 1.8 seconds off claiming a podium. You know, because the guy, the Mercedes ahead also had a time penalty. So if I pushed a little bit harder, I could have got a podium out of that. That's 2 league races in a row where I could have claimed podiums. So I feel like I've got the pace. Morris Pace has the pace. Bren Boy gets driver of the day. Now, I actually did have an interview at the end of this race, and the commentators themselves said that they felt like I was driver of the day. And I just went through, I was just saying to them about how you got to manage your tyres and everything. You have to be very cautious of how you weigh or how you use your tyres up around the circuit with the banking as well. With how steep these corners are, the tyres get very worn out very quickly. So a P4 in the end for this race. Very excited for me. just overall very good race in the end. You know, I kept it consistent. I didn't make many mistakes. And that was the key. You know, I had a very unfortunate start to race. I feel like this could have been a podium. You know, with how the race went, I was last twice in this race with constant time, with 10 seconds worth of time penalties I had to serve. So, anyway, that'll be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, smash the thumbs up button and do subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next league race. Until next time, bye for now, and I'll see you soon.